Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another interesting episode on Anti-Funnel. The buyer journey is a fiction, and if your GTM still maps to TOFU, MOFU, BOFU, you are following a fairy tale. It was invented by marketers, not buyers, and it is the number one reasons your pipeline keeps stalling. Because here is the truth, right? Buyers don't move linearly. They don't care about your nurturing logic. They move when triggers shake their world. And I will go deep into what I mean by that. You'll walk away with full trigger, action, and a conversion system. Your real pipeline signals that most marketers ignore. A new model that maps to momentum, not funnels. This is the episode 4 of the Anti-Funnel Advanced Series. If you have made it this far, you're not average. You're part of that 100k plus subscribers, top 5% of marketers who really want to change the system, who challenge the system. If you haven't subscribed yet, fix that now. We are building the GTM model sales team actually trusts. So let's go. The myth of TOFU, MOFU and BOFU. Buyers don't move through your funnel. They leap when life forces them to. We have been taught awareness, consideration, decision, educate them at the top, nurture them in the middle, and sell them at the bottom. But that's the marketer's logic, not buyer behavior. Here is how buyers really act. They ignore you for 9 months, then in 1 week they binge your demo. They test your ROI tool and then they review your pricing page and buy in maybe 14 days, 21 days, right? What changed? A trigger happened. Not a drip email, not a white paper, a life event, right? A new boss, a funding round, a vendor screw up. And if your GTM isn't designed for this non-linear leap, you're not just missing pipeline, you're misreading it. And I want to tell a story. What happened a couple of years ago when I was working as a fractional CMO. We were targeting a SaaS firm, right? A perfect ISP. We had content engagement. We had a good email open rate across the buying committee. We had even webinar attendance from that target SaaS firm, right? But they ghosted. No reply, and we moved on. What we didn't know is that new VP of sales have come in. They slashed the customer acquisition cost and cut their current vendor. That was our trigger window, right? But we were looking at lead scores, not live signals. Another vendor caught it, right? They reached out 2 weeks after the VP joined, booked a demo, closed in 27 days, right? And the deal size was about 150, 200k. Gone, right? And that day we kind of realized that we should never miss another trigger again, right? And this is the anti-funnel engine. It doesn't map buyer behavior, it maps momentum. And here is the model, right? A sudden change that breaks inertia, and that could be like I explained a little while ago, a new VP joins, or there is a Series A announced, a vendor breach or a price hike, or there is a big industry shift, right? Or there is an aggressive hiring, or there is an org level restructuring. These shake status quo. Companies that experience a buying trigger event are 60%, 64% more likely to initiate a vendor evaluation within 30 days. And not just engagement, right? You have to have a meaningful motion. Look for pricing page returns, ROI tool usage, multiple sessions in 2 days, 3 days, tool comparison versus searches, email forward or internal sharing, right? These show internal buying prep, right? This is when sales enters, right? Not before. Only when trigger and action, that's equal to intent, right? And the result is less sales burnout, shorter sales cycle, and more predictable pipeline. And that's what GTM should look like in 2025. Let's get into details, right? Here are the 6 real trigger events and why they matter. The first one on this list is a new decision maker. When a new leader comes in, they have 90 days to make impact. That's when they want new vendors, and 57% of vendor changes happen within the first 100 days of new VP joining. And what do, right? You have to track leadership changes with tools, whether it's Apollo or Zoom Info or LinkedIn Sales Navigator, doesn't matter, right? And reach out with a very personalized point of view. We helped a similar company during your exact stage. The second trigger is funding announcement. So if there is a new money coming in, there is a change in coming, right? Funding isn't about budget, it signals momentum, it signals expansion, it signals readiness. That funded companies are 2x, 3x more likely to invest in new MarTech within 60 days of announcement. And what do? You build a funding alert dashboard. You create a fast turn campaigns targeting recently funded accounts. The third one is vendor breach or failure. When your competitor messes up, that's your door, right? If the current vendor had a data breach, a major outrage, a big price hike, that's a moment of doubt. The incumbent's armor just cracked. And what to do? Monitor news, Reddit threads, offer switching incentives within 7 days of the trigger, right? The fourth one is organizational hiring spike. When a company hires 5 engineers in 2 weeks, something big is coming. Hiring tells you where they are investing. Watch hiring patterns on LinkedIn or job portals, whether it's Naukri or Monster or Dice, right? And you build your content offers aligned to these roles. The next one on this list is product launch or expansion. Big launches is a big stress moment, right? Need for better systems. If they are expanding product lines or entering new markets, they are entering unknown. Trigger a value-based outreach around growth challenges and scaling. The last one is layoff or reorg, right? When organization shrinks, the few left are under pressure to deliver more with less. This is often the start of a major buying decision. Efficiency becomes the new metric. Pivot your messaging to do more with less outcomes. Offer free integrations of faster ROI estimates. Let's call it out, right? Most GTM teams are optimized for nurturing, not motion. They assume buyers need education, but in reality, they need a reason to act. Funnels guide passive buyers. Triggers activate real ones. When you buy your GTM to detect and ride these waves, your timing gets sharper, your sales follow-up gets stronger, and content feels really relevant, and pipeline starts to move faster than ever before. And this is not a theory, it is how you go from a 2.3% to 7.5 lead to opportunity rate just by shifting to a trigger GTM model. This is what elite mid-level marketers can implement right now. Build your trigger library. List 10 trigger relevant to your ICP. Align 1 to 2 campaigns or content to each. Second, track behavior after trigger. Look for multiple visits, tool usage, or comparison intent. Create a trigger plus action alert in your CRM or a marketing automation software. Rewire your scoring is the next one on this list, right? Give more weightage to ROI tools or pricing or integration. Remove score from ebook and case studies and white papers and all of that. Right? I'm not saying that they are not relevant, they are relevant, but pay more attention to motions, right? Trigger events. Build sales ready signal sheet. For each account, list trigger, action, and context. Deliver only those to SDRs with a timestamp and narrative, right? So I want to leave you with this. You are not just a content monkey. You are not here to move MQLs from TOFU to BOFU. You are a momentum engineer, right? You build GTM systems that detect and ride real world change. And that's what the top 5% do. They don't send fake readiness. They build systems that move when the world does. So leave a comment. No more funnels, you build motion, and let's see how many of you are building for change. Next episode, MQL scoring is a dead metric. Use these signals instead. Until next time, cheers.